Hello, everyone. I hope you are having a good, well, it is Christmas Eve for me. It may be Christmas for some of you, but I hope you are having a good day, whatever day it is where you are. Uh, Last stream, it somehow came up that we had not done a modifiers cell or a modifier cells puzzle in a bit. Now, when I said it, what I actually meant was I haven't set one in a bit, but it's actually also true that I haven't solved one in a bit, but we do get to do that today. And also, we haven't solved a Marty Sears puzzle in a bit, although I have been sort of planning to someday do a run through of the first sort of Rat Race series once it is like far enough in the memory of the world to do that. So I have at some point I intend to do a big sort of Marty Sears thing, but I haven't done this one yet, and this one looks fun. So this is the most voted for puzzle, as it often is. David Dorlier, Russ David, Nell, Luda, and Neverio have all voted for this. Big Z is back to join us today, while Zach goes and visits family for the holidays. So off we go for this puzzle. So let's try to understand the rules of this puzzle, which are slightly odd. So we have normal Sudoku rules. That's not very odd. In each row and column, there's exactly one. Row, column, box. There's exactly one pseudo cell. The digits 1 through 9 appear once in a pseudocell. The real value of a pseudocell, for purposes of the colored lines, is determined by multiplying its row number by its column number. For example, if there is a pseudocell in row 6, column 3, that's not row 6, column 3, that's row 6, column 3, it has a value of 18, regardless of what digit appears in that cell. Okay, and then we have a bunch of standard stuff, plus a same difference line and a different difference line. The same difference line, every pair of adjacent digits along the line have the same difference. And along a different differences line, every pair of adjacent cells have a different difference. I won't go over what all of the other ones mean. I normally would, but since there's like 6 of them and I don't know which ones are going to be relevant, I'm going to let you read the others. I do appreciate the colorblind version that we have here with the sort of things labeled so you can know exactly what things they correspond to. The place I want to start is these cells. Hey, Gene. I intend to. We're part of the way through the next video, but that has been true for a while. It is it is intended, but the hard part of making the videos is not my job. The hard part of making the videos is my editor's job, who has to like animate contracting loops and other such things. So that's sort of the bigger piece of it. So when it gets done, it'll get done. But yeah, yes, there we go. Said editor. These cells I don't think can be pseudo cells because this would be a 12, this would be a 15, this would be a 24, and this would be a 25. None of those can be consecutive with something. So none of these can possibly be pseudo cells. I can see right away. Let's see. We definitely have some stuff going on with this region sum line. If we put a pseudo cell on here, it's going to make the total really huge. We're certainly going to need a pseudo cell over here. In fact, I think we're going to need that anyway, because this is a sum of 6 cells. So even if none of these are pseudo cells, that's a minimum sum of 21, which I guess is technically possible without any sort of super weirdness. Let's see. These 2 digits, Emma points out, the smile digits, they have the same value. And so one of them has to be a pseudo cell. So we can immediately blew out all of this stuff. And so we have this. And so if this one was a pseudocell, it would have value 6, which would say the sum of these was 6. If this one was a pseudocell, it would have a value of 14, which would be a real problem because I would then need to fill a 14 into this cell. So I can't do that. So I have to do this. And now note, because it's a pseudocell, I have no idea what digit is in it. But I do know that the sum of these digits is 6. So there's sort of a 6 for its actual value. I'm going to try... Oh, my keypad's off, maybe? No, my keypad's on. There we go. I'm going to fill in 6 for the actual value, 6 for the actual digit here. And we can bring out big Z for the 6y dance. Boop, 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 boop. Wop, 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 wop. Boop, 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 boop. Wop, 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 wop. Boop, boop, ba-doop. Wop, 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 wop. Thank you, Big Z. Thank you. Big Z is hoping that there are no 5 dances that show up. Okay, so if any of these are pseudocells, does it automatically make the value too large? Yes. Because the smallest value any of these would have as a pseudocell would be 12, and 12 is too big to put in a 3-cell sum to 6. And so one of these is a pseudocell, so none of those are pseudocells, and it's going to be a 4, a 5, or a 6. It's probably not going to be a 5, because if this were the pseudocell, it would be the 5. And the problem is then you'd have to put 2 real digits next to it. And that's not going to work. Now, you could have a 5 on the German Whisper, but the pseudocell can't be the 5. Oh, yes, these are 1, 2, 3. I did not mention because of that. And there is a 6 on the German Whisper somewhere, albeit it's possible that the 6 is the pseudocell, so I probably should not mark that without thing. Almost assuredly, this is going to be a pseudocell, because otherwise this is going to be very boring as a Nabner. And you'd never have a 5-cell Nabner that was 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 in a puzzle. It's just not done. Yeah, okay. I guess the easy way to do it is to say the pseudocell here does have to be the 6, because if the 6 wasn't in the pseudocell, it would have to go next to a real digit. Note, every digit on this line goes next to a real digit. And so that real digit would have to be 1, but it can't be because the 1 is gone. So the 6 is, in fact, in one of these cells, acting as a pseudocell. So either this is a 4, which I don't think would work, because if this was a 4, then this would be a 9, and then this would need to be something, and it couldn't be. And so this, oh, 494 does work. Sorry, you're right. 494 does work. Martin has saved me. Yep. Okay. So, is that a rule, Matt? Oh, your point is just, your point isn't that. Your point is, sorry, I thought, yeah, your point is if it's this, it's even worse, because if it's this, then this is a 6, and this has to be a 1, and that just doesn't work. So yeah, so funnily enough, this is another 6. This is out. These are out. Okay, so this has a value of 12. So this is at most 7. And it's not a 6. And it can't be a 5 because it goes next to a real digit. So this can only be a 4 or a 7. Oh, sorry, value of 4. Value of 4, thank you. Sorry, yes, has a value of 4. I can't really write that in very easily. So that means this has to be a 9 and this has to be a real 4, right? Okay. So we've got all of that. We know there's a 6 over here. I guess I'm just not going to bother recording that anymore. It doesn't seem worth it. We know what these 3 digits are. 5, 7, 8 is what goes in here. I'm going to have a hard time putting a 2 here, but not impossible. Tristan claims that this has to be a pseudocell because this sums to at least 21. I can make at least 21 if I make these exactly 7, 8, 9. I believe. Oh, the problem is I can't put either of these things on a renbon, is the problem, because this would be a renbon, just the same argument I made down here. This would be a renbon with the 21 or a 24 on it, and those are going to be problematic to fill in the rest of. So yeah, so it's not actually to do with the sum of the region sum line. Okay, so these have to be from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because this is a renbon, and I can't go above 6 because all of these are real. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and these aren't 1, 2, 3, of course, so those are a 4, 5 pair. Those aren't 4 or 5. Okay, and so that means these are 2 and 3. Yes, I was figuring out how my quintuple didn't work out, but it was because it wasn't a quintuple. But I still needed these to be 4 and 5. Okay, so this cell is always a 7, 8, or 9, because you can't repeat a digit inside a thing. Okay, and so now the sum of this number is 27 plus 2 other digits is the sum of this line. And one of the other digits is at least 7. So 27 plus 1 is 28, plus 7 is 35. So the minimum sum of this is 35. And I can't get to 35 and 3, Tristan would like me to note, so I can blue out these. Let's see. So let's see. So these I should fill in are 6, 7, 8, 9. And of course, this is 1 of 6 and 7 and 1 of 8 and 9, because it's on a Nabner. And so these can't be any higher than 5, because of the fact that I've already used a 6, 7, and an 8, 9. And these can't be 5 either, so actually these are both low. And so here what I have is I have a 1, 2, a 3, 4, a 6, 7, and an 8, 9. And so that is quite interesting. Oh, so this just can't be a pseudocell then, because if this is a pseudocell, it would have a value of 4, and that would break. So it is, in fact, the boring Nabner. Tragic. So this is a 5. That's not a 5, but good try, Zeta. This is a 5. These aren't 6, 8, and so these aren't 2, 4. So the 1, 3 looks over here, making that a 2 and that a 3. These aren't 7 or 9, and in fact, that's a 6 and that's an 8, if you fill in the rest of those. These digits are 2, 4, 6, 8, and 5. If we look at it. And so none of these can be 4 or 6. That one can't be 5. In fact, this is guaranteed to be 2, 4, 2, 5, 8, and this is a 4 in my pseudo cell now. Okay, and so these two digits are a 1 and something else. 1 and a 7, I suppose, and this digit is a something. It's a 9. Surely 7 plus 9 plus 27 is too big, right? 7 plus 9 plus 27 is 43. Can I possibly get these three cells to sum to as large as 43? Yes, I can. Sadly. It's very tragic, but it is possible. Yeah, 5 times 6 is pretty darn big, unfortunately. Okay. This can't be the 5, because then the differences wouldn't be different. Oh, I see Emma said that as well. So therefore, this is the 5. Let's see. We can't use parity on the German Whisper, Tristan, because it has, or it might have, modifier cells on it. German Whisper parity relies on the fact that the only values possible are 1 through 9. Oh, okay. The point is, the point Tristan wants me to say. Sorry, Tristan's point is that it's must because it's got an odd number of cells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it's got 9 cells on it. So one of these two cells is definitely a modifier cell. So that one isn't because it sees both. And this one isn't because it sees both. So maybe that will get us down to small enough because now the largest I can possibly get is 24 plus 17 is only 41, I believe. So this can't be a 7 anymore. If I did my math correctly, I'll let someone double check it because I don't really want to do it again. We have a thing. Oh, Martin is going to ruin it by making a really smart point, which is that if this is a 10, because there's a 5 in the box already, 10 could only connect to low digits anyway on both sides, which would not, in fact, change the high-lowity. So if it wasn't for this being a 5, we could get away with a 10. Oh, I guess maybe we couldn't even then, but we certainly can't in this puzzle get away with this being the only modifier cell on this line. So definitely this is a modifier cell. This one could also be a pseudo cell, but this one has to be a pseudo cell. And so now the value of this cell is only 20. So the maximum here is 37. In contrast, this again sums to 27 plus 9 plus 1 at minimum, which is 37. So this has to be a 1, that has to be a 7. And so these need to be an 8-9 pair or it doesn't work in order to make this work. Because now this needs to sum to 37, and that only works again with this being... Oh, I can blue out some of this. Because, again, this is 20 plus 17 is 37, as anticipated. Okay, yeah, the 8-9 pair looks up at this cell. So this number is huge. So presumably one of these is high and one of them is low, or Oh, sorry. Or this is also a modifier cell. Those are the options, I suppose. We know there's a 9 down here somewhere. Gonna have a hard time putting a 6 in either of these cells, but maybe it's possible. Hey, ELSF. Oh, Tristan has done the math to figure out that the smallest I could make a pseudo cell, and happy Hanukkah, yes, in this box would be 35, which is a problem given that my total is 37. So these aren't modifier cells, and this is. I agree with Tristan's assessment. Let's see. Right, and these two sum to 8, points out DWeb, because, again, sorry. Then these we know sum to 37 with no shenanigans, so these sum to 8 if you ignore the shenanigans. So that is the 1, because you need a 1 and a 3 cell sum to 8, and these have to be 3 and 4. And so we can fill in the rest of the digits now as being 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, these aren't 6 or 7, so they are 2, 5, and 8. I seem to have forgotten a digit. Let's try again. 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 is also a digit. Fun fact, did you know? I didn't, apparently. So 9, 2, 8, 5s. Okay, so we've got good things happening over here, I believe. Okay, and one of these is a 5. It's either a 5 or... So this just can't possibly be a pseudocell, because it would be a 5, and there's no number that I can write in here that has the same difference from 5 and 6. It would be a 5.5. And that doesn't work. So it's got to be this one. And so this is a 10. So if I look at it, this can't increase both times. So if you think about it, there's sort of like if it's same difference, it could either go up or down. But if we go up here, then we have to go... I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't bother working this out. So I think I could, but it's probably not worth it. Anyway, this being a 10, DWeb points out, means that this digit is low, because again, it's at most, well, it's either at least 15, which is going to be difficult, or at most 4. Oops, 7, 4. So that means I can 1, 2, 3, 4 these as well. And so I can 6, 7, 8, 9 these. Now this cell I know is not an 8 or a 9. This cell I seem to know is not a 6. I could have also told you that because that's not a 1. This is also low for the same reason. Because it's also next to this cell. So this is also high. And it's uniquely a 7 because it can't be a 6, 8, or 9. So that is a 6, which makes both of those a 1, which makes that a 2. That a 3, 2, 1. So not a 7. Okay, so this is a 2, 3, 4, or 5, but it's not a 4 or a 5, so this is only a 2 or a 3. So there's definitely a 3 in here, so this isn't a 3. Also, spoiler, 7 and 3 don't go next to each other on same difference lines. Or sorry, on German Whispers. We'll pretend that I remembered. This is at least a 3, so this can't be a 7 either. Speaking of things that don't go next to each other on German Whispers. Oh, I was hoping I could say that 3 and 4 were already used in modifiers, so therefore that 3, 4 had to go there. That would have been sweet, but sadly, 3 has not yet been used in a modifier cell, so we can't quite do that kind of shenanigans yet. Oh, actually, we actually know these two are a 3-4 pair because there's a 3-4 hidden pair in the box. And so we actually get to sort of we get to resolve it the other way. Although, tragedy of tragedies, we don't get to use the fact that we can't repeat 4 in a pseudo cell to do this. So anyway, that's a 4 and that's a 3. It was a little tragic. We kept getting so close to getting to do a cool thing, and then we did not get to do the cool thing. It was very tragic, but we'll have to make do. Okay, that is a 7. Okay, these are something and something. 5, 8, and 9. 4 on a Whispers probably goes next to a 9. Is a secret that I have been told. Okay, this cell, if I look at it, can still be a 2, can't be a 3, 4, could be a 5, except it can't. It can't be a 6, could be a 7, can't be an 8, could be a 9. Those are my only options for the value of this. Let's see. I really don't want to do the algebra here. I'm trying to avoid it. I know I could. Let's see. Probably I can do some more stuff over here. Makes those 7, 8, and 9. I know there's a 1 or a 2 down here. One of these two is a 7 for the row. So that's not a 7. Let's see. I mean, I'm pretty sure I can write it down. I just don't want to argue it. It seems annoying. I mean, I guess you can, like, say that these are both even after applying the difference 1, 2, 3 times. And so if you think mod 2, the same difference doesn't matter whether you are increasing or decreasing. So that tells you that because both of these are even, the difference has to be even. And so therefore, this cell is even. If you want to argue this is exactly the kind of thing I was trying not to have to say. So this is 2 or 8. The difference isn't 0. And then this is 2, 6, or 8. And so so we've got that. The evenness is very important to know that this had to be even. And so then you can just ask yourself, okay, if this went, so this could go, yeah, so if this went 6, 8, this would have to be 2, and then this is 10. That doesn't work. So this can't go 6, 8. This has to go 6, 2, 6, 9, in order to make that work. 7, 9. Yeah, I still didn't like that. 8, 9, 8, 6, 9. Let's see. 6s, 8s, 8s. Bye, Tristan. Hey, Kodek. Horrible case checking proof aside, this is a very nice proof, or this is a very nice puzzle. Let's see. Oh, I seem to know that none of these are thing. Okay. So now I guess I could contemplate The different differences line is, I admit, very unappealing. Somehow Sudoku is more appealing than the different differences line. Okay, I was curious if we get to do our old trick of having seen we've used 3, we've used 4, we have not used 7, but we've used 8. So the only digit that is it true? The only digit in here, 7 is the only one, right, that we haven't used. So yeah, so wait, do you mean box 7, Kurban, or did I do my math wrong? Yeah, so there's a 7 in here. So these aren't 7. So that's 7 and that's 8. So none of these are 8 for multiple reasons. Okay, and so now I'm only looking for 2 and 5. Well, I'm not getting a 5 here, so I must be getting a 2, and therefore I must be getting a 5 here. And so therefore this must be a 2. This must be a 4 and a 5 and a 7 and a 5 in order to make that work. Commonly known by its other name, 7. Yes, indeed. We have all we have all been there, I suspect. Okay, let's see what is left here. Stuff. Let's see. I mean, this is it going to turn out that I can't put a 5 here because it would be the same difference? I guess we have to do the math. This would be 48. The difference is 45. This no, there's no way. This would be 49 and 48. That's only that's a difference of 1, whereas this is a difference of 45. 1 and 45 are not the same number. I can confirm. It is true this digit cannot be 3. DWeb is also correct. These two cells, I need to make sure whatever digits I put in them do not have a difference of 45. Oh, is it just a matter of just good lift this cell? Ah, yes, it is just a matter of good lift this cell. Okay, so yeah, so yeah, I guess we might as well just good lift all of this stuff, and it'll probably make my life easier. But I agree that we can fill in that, which seems to have a difference of 1 if I did it correctly. Yeah, 48 and 49. So I need to make sure these don't have a difference of 1. And also 45, correct? Which rules out 4. Yes, it does. Okay. Oh, and of course, then these aren't modifier cells. So we can yoink that and knock 7 out of that cell. Yes, and so now the 2 in row 7 can only go here, making that an 8 and that a 4. And now this can't be 7 or 9, so it has to be 6. That a 2 and an 8, that a 5 and a 9, that a 7 and a 4 and an 8. This is our modifier 2. So this is our last modifier 7. Oops, sorry, last modifier. So that is a 2. And we can fill in these cells. Oops, 3, 6, 1, 3, 5, 8. 3, 4, 7, 5, 1, 6. Oh, 3, 1. Very nice puzzle. I really liked that one. That is one of my favorites of Marty's, to be sure. Very cool puzzle. Alrighty, I'm going to take a quick break, and I will be back with another puzzle, so see you all in just a moment. Alrighty, welcome back. We have a Renbon black dot puzzle with okay, so apologies to James. I fear we're going to spend the entire time I'm solving this puzzle talking about the fact that James put a 2-cell thermo in it, because you are not supposed to put 2-cell thermos in puzzles. I was just trying to convince the creator of Sudoku topology that they should not use 2-cell thermos, and then one of the most experienced and best setters in the world goes ahead and then ruins my point by putting a 2-cell thermo in a puzzle. But what are you going to do? Alrighty, so we've got all the good stuff, plus the worst of all mechanics in Sudoku, the singular 2-cell thermo. Remember back in the day when, like, it used to happen on Cracking the Cryptic that Simon would do puzzles with a single 2-cell thermo, like, fairly regularly? Like, I'm pretty sure I remember one by Bastion, from back in the less cultured days, we'll say. Yeah, so, of course, the only way you can do it is to good lift one of these. So this is a string of 3 black dots, and so those must be from the 1, 2, 4, 8 family of black dots. And they definitely contain a 2 and a 4, so we can simplify our good lifting considerably already. Because there's definitely a 2 and a 4 in here. This is either 3, 6 or 1, 2 or 4, 8. But the fact that it looks at a 2, 4 is kind of interesting, as these things go. Yeah, exactly. We've got one of them, but I was sort of looking over there and thinking about that. I think we're supposed to good lift this. Actually, it could even be 4, 8, can't it? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have just counted. It could even be 4, 8. So maybe we should not good lift this one. There is a 9 in this column somewhere, and an 8, and a 7, and a 1, and a 3, and several other digits that appear that are all fairly constraining as regards thermos. Or sorry, as regards Renbon. I'm suddenly having flashbacks to some sort of set thing that looks like this, although I guess actually maybe it would be better if I did it like this. No, it's not that. Never mind. Sorry. I don't think maybe it's not. I don't know. Selena will tell me if there's a set that looks like this. It looks suspicious to me. Okay. It is true. This is somewhat constrained. Josh has pointed out. So normally you can good lift every cell on a black dot with 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, which I guess fits the theme of the puzzle. But this can't be a 1 because then there'd need to be a 2 on the thermo. This also can't be a 2 because then there would need to be a oh, sorry, no, it could be a 2 as long as that's the 1. Sorry. It would work okay. Yeah, I think all the rest of them might be okay, but that one can't be a 1. Let's see. Yeah, same issue here. If that's a 1, then we need the 2 for the thermo. God, we've only got 4 spots for 5, 7, and 9 in column 7 is kind of interesting. So there's at least one 5, 7, 9 on this Renbon, which is not super enthralling in and of itself because I know the Renbon has a 5 on it already because every length 5 Renbon has a 5 on it. So the fact that I have proven the strictly weaker result that it has a 5, 7, or 9 on it is... I mean, I guess it's not strictly weaker because I know it's got a 5, 7, or 9 in one of these 2 cells. So, you know, technically it's something. Okay, so 4, 6, 8. I just wanted to look at the same thing in this row, except there's 5 options in this row for where this thing goes. Oh, let's see. I'm being told 9 isn't here, right? 9 definitely is not here because that would make this have to be like 8, 4 would be the best I could do, but I can't fit an 8 and a 4 with a 9 on a Renbon. So the 9 in this column is either exactly here or it's up here. Those are my options. Both are suspicious. I don't think I know that, though, Dorther. I just know there's a 5, 7, or 9 up here. The other 2 could be here. Unless I want to disprove that this is exactly a 7, 9 pair, but that's the kind of thing I really, really don't want to disprove if I can avoid it. Let's see. I do have my extreme digits hanging around in this box, forcing some highs and some lows and some middly sorts of nonsenses. But the 5, 7, 9... No. I just know that in this column, I need to fit 3 5, 7, 9s. And so any pair of cells I select needs to have at least one of those digits. But sadly, yeah, it's not quite good. But yeah, you're right. If I knew that there was a 7 or 9 up here, then I could do that. Let's see. Yeah. Is it possible that I can rule out this being 4, 8? It would make these 5, 6, 7. That looks okay to me. This being a 1 is a little suspicious. It does muck with the thermo, so maybe it turns out the thermo is actually the break-in because we have to make sure we don't have too many lows looking at it. Yeah, these two Ren bonds have to go in box 5 somewhere. If they have any cells in common, that cell definitely goes on this square. I'm pretty sure that was a break into one of my puzzles at some point. And it is also true that these 3 digits have to go over here somewhere. And likewise, now, of course, the easiest case is if these are literally the same 3 digits, because then they can just hang out here with one of their friends. And I know these digits aren't 5, but that doesn't really feel that exciting. I do know that every black dot has a 2, 3, or 4 on it. So no Renbon can rule 2, 3, 4 off an entire black dot, but I don't think that's possible at the moment. Yeah, they both certainly put at least 1 digit in the square, so that is true. Let's see. There's a lot of repeated digits in these cells just by virtue of the fact that this is 12 cells. And of course, those repeated digits don't show up here, which is somewhat interesting. So I guess I'm sure that one of these 3 is extreme, because I only can fit at most 2 5s in here. So one of these is 1, 2, 3, 4, or 6, 7, 8, 9. And the same goes horizontally, of course. I mean, I guess exactly one of them is. Oh, no, sorry, that's not true. I was going to say exactly one of them is extreme because there are exactly 2 5s in there. But sorry, no, there could be only 1 5 in these cells. So it's possible that 2 of them are extreme. I kind of feel like this Renbon is going to have a hard time being extreme, but I don't have an enormous amount of sense of it yet. Let's see. Let's see. Global Glob is wanting to consider this collection of digits versus this collection of digits. Which buys us that each of these Renbons have the same collection of digits in them. That is true. Every length 4 Renbon has a 1, 5, or 9 on it. Uh, so we've used... Right. So there's exactly 3 159s in these cells is codex point. There's exactly 3 159s here. So by the fact that the columns have 6 total, there's 3 159s here. So there's no 15s or 9s here. That is really smart. So this is 2, 3, 4, or 6, 7, 8. D'Orlear has gotten the same place, but I will admit to liking codex proof better than D'Orlear's. But both proofs get you to the same place, that this has to have no 159s. And the exact same thing has got to be true over here. So this is also 2, 3, 4, or 6, 7, 8. That's not a 1. Okay, so is it possible that they are different than each other? So if they were, if one of them was 2, 3, 4, and one of them was 6, 7, 8, then this digit would be somewhat restricted. Yeah, sadly, we didn't prove they shared at least one digit. We just proved that a digit from each of them at least is on a length 4 Renbon together. So, like, the highest digit of one isn't more than 3 away from the lowest digit of the other, or something like that. Agreed. If these are different, then we do have to put one of each of these on here. So that would mean there would be a 4, 5, and a 6 on here. Right. Globaglob points out we actually do know there's only one of these Renbon has a 1, one of them has a 5, and one of them has a 9. Is the point, because we said we can only fit 159 in on each of these, and we've got to fit 6 of them total. So it's one of each because the other ones all go together here. So yeah, so one of these is middling and the other 2 are extreme. Is worth noting. So I don't know immediately which high-lowity it is, but these are either all high or all low. My question was, can this be the same high-lowity as yellow if it's extreme? So if this Renbon is extreme, it can't be the same high-lowity as yellow. It would have to be the opposite one. But of course, it could be middly instead. Yeah, same in row 5 and row 6, which is how we know there's not a 159 in here either. It really feels to me like the world is better if these are different than if they're the same, but I could well be wrong about that. Is the question about 7 in column 7? Because if this is 6, 7, 8, that's not the 7. I guess in that universe, yeah, then this has a 7 on it. Let's see. I'm noticing that 2, 4, and 8 are not 1, 5, or 9, for what it is worth. Let's see. I mean, if these are different, there's still lots of room. One could go on here, and then the other two could go there, and vice versa. Why is that, Johnny, out of these three? A couple people are saying similar things, but I don't understand the reasoning for it. It seems like it could be useful, because it would mean that if the middly one, well, if this is 1, 2, 4, then it says that this doesn't have a 1 on it. I think that is the restriction. I don't know what you're saying, Emma. Let's see. In the other renbans in this column, you mean? Oh, you mean in these rows? Got it. No, not in the column, in the rows. If this is 2, 3, 4, then where did the 2, 2, 3? Where did the other 2, 2, 3, 4s go in this row? They go there. That's okay. That makes sense. So yeah. So if there's two sets of 2, 3, 4, then of course one of them goes on the extreme renban, and one of them goes in the one of them goes on the renban with a 5. So we have two extreme renban and a renban that's almost completely extreme. This renban can't be the one that is almost completely extreme, because it would be ruled out of being either. So this one is extreme, right? Because if this one was 5 and then 2, 3, 4, well, one of these two has to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's not going to work because neither of them can be, because there's A2, 3, 4 in here and A2, 3, 4 in here. So this one is for sure extreme. And it is the opposite extreme of this one, because again, there's one of those things there. So this one can go ahead and be purple. If we want to think about it that way. Haven't figured that out yet, Emma. So, oh, it's because of the So yeah, so if this is yellow, I think Emma is claiming, yeah, so there aren't two colors of digit in this square, no matter what. So there could be a 5 is Emma's point. There could be a 5, but there's never both yellow and purple digits on this square because it's either extreme or it's 5 plus 3 yellow digits or it's 5 plus 3 purple digits. And the point is there's definitely a purple digit on it. So there's only purple digits and possibly 5s on it. Because these purple digits, well, I can only shove 2 of them off it. So there's definitely a purple digit here. So these are from purple and possibly green. And so that means that this thing, which definitely shows up in here, it has to also be purple. And so it is entirely on here. Okay, there's at least one yellow. Right. There's at least one yellow on here because there's 4 yellows to fit in the box. There's at least one yellow on here, and so this one's yellow or green. The green is not saying there's definitively a 5. The green is just saying there could be a 5. Oh, right. If this one does have a 5, we actually argued earlier symmetrically, Martin points out, that it breaks because neither of these could be yellow anymore. Right. So yeah, if this had a 5 on it, then I couldn't make this the yellow extreme and I couldn't make this the yellow extreme. And I have to fit both 1 and 9 in these 6 cells somewhere. Okay, so that means this cell is 5 or purple. And if it's purple, so that means this cell's 1, 5, or 9, basically, are the only options for this cell. Because the only available purple digit is the extreme one. So this isn't 2, 3, 4, and it's not 6, 7, or 8. It is 1 or 5 only. Yeah, and so, yeah, these I can also purple green. I agree. Those can also be purple greened. For similar reasons. Globaglob says not green. I don't know there's a green here. I know one of these two is green, but I don't know which one. Because this is the other purple green. Yeah, you can think of it that way if you want. Just saying, if I'm... Basically, this is my way of saying these cells aren't yellow. Like, this cell I can also mark as being purple-green because it's the other one. Okay. So this 5-cell Renbon has an interesting thing to do with purple because none of these cells are the purple 2, 3, 4. And this purple 2, 3, 4 isn't even on this length 5 Renbon. So this has at most 2 purples on it. And it having 2 purples on it would be quite difficult given what's true about the black dots, although I don't know how badly I want to think about that right now. Okay, this one's not 5. I will reveal my secret that this one is not 5. Actually, the fact that if this is 2, 3, or 4, then this has all of 2, 3, and 4 in it. I guess tells me this cell isn't 2. I think the sweeping conclusion I get to make is that this cell is never 2. Unfortunately. I was trying to use my black dottage skills for good and not for evil. Oh, good night, Daniel. I hope you left out Santa some nice cookies. I'm sure he'll be hungry. Okay. Yeah. I'll mark it, although I don't think it's great. These can't have the extreme purple, because if these had the extreme purple on them, then I would need to fit all 3 purples on this, and there are 3 cells that can't be any of the 3 other purples. So the extreme purple is definitely not on this Renbon. Okay, yeah. So this doesn't. So these 2 cells are both not purple, is the point, because that's the point. Okay, so these 2 cells are not purple. This is Martin's point, and it's glorious. Because if there was an extreme purple in this, I would need 4 purple digits. But these 3 purple digits can't go in these 3 cells. That's too many cells to rule out. So these cells are only yellow or green. However, I have now concluded my assortment of yellows and greens in row 6. And in particular, this one's not green. So this one, in fact, just is the 4th yellow for the row, which means that this digit is a 5. Oh, poor Zach. This digit is our 5. And so we get to bring out Big Z for his first attempt at a public 5 dance. Ba-boop-a-doop. Woo! Ah! Ba-doop-a-doop. Ah! Ba-doop-a-doop. Ah! I'm sorry, Big Z. I should have known that when I picked a Renbon puzzle, it was quite likely that the 5 was going to be the first digit we placed and that you were not going to be safe. Poor Big Z. Okay, so that does tell us that these cells aren't green. This cell isn't green. This is the extreme purple. Because it's not the others. So this is the purple 1, 9. These are all yellow. So we've got that at least. Yes, and column 5 somehow... How did I not notice this before? This was kind of a gimme, wasn't it? Was this like the easier way to do this was to notice that, yeah, we knew those 3 were yellow actually before. We just didn't notice. That is what happened, I believe. Okay, so these 3 are yellow. So 5 in box 8 is placed here. Very good. So these aren't green. Oh, right. This digit we know is yellow. Because we said the extreme purple digit is not on this Renbon, and that's the only purple digit this could be. So this is a yellow digit, and that's purple. Okay, so this is a 1 or a 9, so it's a 1. So that gives us wabam. That is the purple. So that is the purple 2. This is a purple 1. These aren't 6 or 8 or 7. These aren't 6, 7, or 8 either. That one's, oops. Well, that one isn't a 2 for what it's worth. What I was going to say isn't wrong. These aren't 1, they're not 2. This is only a 6 or 8 because it's high. So this is only a 3 or 4 because it only goes with the lows. 8 is going to be awfully difficult because then I would need to fit 7 and 6. Oh, actually, sorry. Maybe I could fit 7 and 6 onto this Renbon. Oh, yeah, I'm going to have to because this sure isn't a purple 1, and purple 1 is the only purple digit left in the column. So this digit is yellow. This is only a 6 or 8, actually, if I fill in the possibilities. So it's definitely yellow while I'm at it. So these have to be 6, 7, 8. With one of these definitely being a 7. In fact, that one's a 7 because there's a 6, 8 pair in the column. And so now the question is, this Renbon has a 3 or a 4 on it, so it definitely has a 4 on it. Where does the 4 go, given that it has to be in purple? And it goes there. And so that is a 3 and a 6, and that is an 8. Okay, so now that guarantees that this is a purple-green Renbon. And so that means this cell in particular and all of these are yellow, which means that this digit is an 8, which makes that digit a 4. It's not green anymore. That's all the purple greens. So these are all yellow. And so now this is an 8 because it's yellow. Those are purple. Okay, this is not 4, 6, or 8, just for the record. Not 4 or 8. So that is a 2, and that's a 4. Green is in column 7, Globaglob points out, in box 3, so these aren't green. Which makes these a 1-5 pair, because I now need to fit a 1 in those cells as well, which makes these a 2-3 pair, which gives me a 2-3 pair in the row, which means this is only a 1 or a 6. Funnily enough, this isn't a 6 or an 8 anymore. 7, 9. So this is a naked 8 because it's the last yellow. These are all purple or green. Oh, actually, that's big because it means now I actually know that this is a 3 or a 5, and so this is definitely a 1. So that is good, and so this is actually a 5, which means these are all not that thing I just said. So this is a 6, so it's yellow. That is an 8. This is a 7 or a 9. That's a 3, fun fact. So that's a 2 and a 3. These are all yellow or green. This seems to be a 6. I don't know how Sven knows that, but I see how I know it. Oh, sorry. Sven knew that it wasn't an 8. I see. Okay, so now this is the 6 for this Renbon, because this Renbon needs a 6. That's the other 7, 9. One of these two is a 6. This is a 7 or a 9 for what it's worth. So these are the 6 and the 7, 9 for what it's worth. This cell is a naked 3, because it sees 1, 2, and 4. So that means that this digit is the 3 for this box, and these are the 2 and the 4, which I inexplicably can't immediately place. But I can resolve it by that, because now that's the 2, 4 for the column, but it's not a 4. So that is the 2, and that's the 4, and that's the 2. This cell just is green, because it now sees the full quartet of purples. So it is a 5, and that is a 3. Famously not a green digit. So we get those. These are 1 and 4 in some order. Oh, and I know the order because that one's the 1, and that's the 4. So that resolves. That is the green. It's the 5. That's the 1. These are yellow or green. Oh, and this isn't green. I can reveal it as just a 1. Okay, and these are yellow or green. I can also reveal. That is a 1. These are a 2, 4. Not a good emoji for naked. Send an email to YouTube. I'm sure they'll be very excited to talk about your naked problem. Okay, so these numbers are at least yellow-green. Let's see. Is it possible that these are all the yellow-green digits? No, there is a purple digit on here. Because these two purple digits, one of them has to go on here. So there is at least one purple digit along here with the 2 yellows and the green. So it's either 2 yellows, a green, and a purple. Sorry, 2 yellows, a green, and 2 purples, or 3 yellows, a green, and a purple. I think those are the options. So yeah, so no 9 on this Renbon, for example. And so Emma points out, therefore, that digit is a 9. Sniped. Okay, so 7, 9, 7. These aren't 9, so these are 8, 9, in fact. Oh, and I actually know the order if I take a second to look at it. These are a 5 and an 8. Okay, this is the 4, because if this Renbon has a purple digit on it, it definitely has a 4 on it, and this is the only spot on it that could possibly be 4. So we can do that. Okay, so this is either a 3 or it isn't. Fun fact. These are green or yellow, and I know that the green in this box is on the Renbon, so it's not there. So one of those is green. This isn't green, so therefore this is green, because the row needs a green somewhere, and now... Oh, oops, sorry. That's not true. Sorry, the green could be over there. Don't listen to me. Yeah, we had high hopes that maybe this 2-cell thermo was something, was going to turn out to be like part of the break-in or something. Let's see, yeah, this is an 8 or a 9. So this sees every yellow. Got it. Sorry, this sees every yellow, so it's not yellow. This is green. Got it. Yeah, so that's a 5. And so now this really is a 5, because we do need a 5 in this row. I don't know, I found the ending here very satisfying for what it's worth. These are a 6 and a 7. So funnily enough, this is a 3 or an 8. There were a lot of very mysterious... Yeah, I feel like if you're using black dots, you should probably not disambiguate Renbon with a with a 2-cell thermo would be my general opinion, uh but what are you gonna do? Sometimes the puzzle just doesn't want to cooperate, despite your best efforts. These are both purple, and they are a 1 and a 3. Uh, let's see. Row 8, column 2 is markable. Okay, let's just mark all of these and see what happens. How do I know which one it is? Oh, I need to pencil mark this one first. Yes, yes, yes. There we go. Okay, yes. So, yes, if I did this, so the thing I was supposed to do, uh, was to note I have 4 yellows in this row. I don't even know how to mark it. So therefore these are green or purple, but they're not green, so they're purple. And then having done that, that tells me that these are 1, 2, 3, but this one is the 3. So that's the 1, and that is the 3, and so that's the 2. That is the 8. And so this is my green. This is ungreen. This is ungreen. And this is green. The having to press green to remove green still, after all this time, screws me up every now and then when I am solving. I don't know if I am the only one on that. Let's see. This is a 9. Let's see. So now that's a 9. That's a 6. That seems to be a 7, giving me a 6 and a 7. I'm not. Okay, good. There's at least that there are literally dozens of us or something. This is a 9. These are a 6 and a 7 in n order. Let's see. So this is now a naked 6, 9, 8, 7, 9, 8, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 9. Very nice. I really enjoyed that. I will say, yeah, it does sort of feel like the black dots weren't really integral. Like, this puzzle was really all about Renbon, which I mean is a great thing to have a puzzle be all about. But I was definitely misled by the black dots, thinking about them a lot at first, when the puzzle wasn't really about that. The puzzle was really about 1s, 5s, and 9s, in the bizarre way that it sort of works when you cram 3 length 4 not thermos, 3 length 4 Renbon in here. So yeah, like, this is a really loud clue to have, especially in box 1, and it was basically irrelevant to the puzzle. So if I were to say, like, yeah, what would I do? Granted, I already gave it a heart, which is saying I really liked it. But if I was to do this, to sort of tweak it, I would maybe make the black dots a little less loud so that it seems more thing. But yeah, very cool puzzle though. But yeah, ultimately the high and low getting disambiguated by this being the extreme purple digit on a black dot was very satisfying. Alrighty, I am going to take a quick break, and I will come back with another puzzle. So see you all in just a moment. Alrighty, welcome back. Next up, we have a 10 lines puzzle, possibly Isaiah's debut on the puzzle as well. So the lines have to be broken up into segments that sum to 10. Digits can repeat as long as it doesn't break Sudoku rules. And then we have some black dots and some white dots. The black dots are the same as the previous puzzle. The white dots just mean the digits are consecutive. So it seems natural to ask about what these can be, because I see they can't be 4, 8, for example. So these are... In fact, actually, these two cells just can never sum to 10, because a black dot always multiplies to be a multiple of 3. So I actually know that it's always going to be the case that these at least are a sum to 10. It could be the whole line sums to 10, although I'm going to... Oh, yeah. I fully intend to do Richard's puzzle. It is a total fluke that I have forgotten about it. Yeah, the white dot also can't sum to 10, is a good point. So it also extends, which means that this whole line, in fact, sums to 10. So that does somewhat constrain what the black dot is, because now it certainly can't be 3, 6 anymore, because these digits sum to a minimum of 6, so these need to sum to a maximum of 4. And so 1, 2 is the only black dot that will make that work. And now these digits need to sum to 7, so they need to be 1, 2, and 4. But the only way that works is that way, because you can't put the 4 on a white dot. That is a very clever break-in. I quite enjoyed that as a break-in. Let's bring out Big Z for the 4 dance. Big Z is less afraid of the 4 dance. It involves less of him being upside down. Thank you, Big Z. Thank you. Okay, so this is either an 8 or it's a 3, 6 family member. Let's see. Okay, so these numbers are each a minimum of 3. I don't think that does me a whole lot. Immediately. Okay, so it does tell me that this is a 2-cell sum, because if I try and make this a 3-cell sum, I'm going to run into problems, because they're going to sum to a minimum of 12. And the same thing is actually true over here for the same reason. So each of these is either 3, 7 or 4, 6. Those are the two flavors that I am allowed to have. Okay, and so now this has to extend out here, but I doubt it can turn down, because then these would... Yeah, that doesn't work, because these two need to sum to at least 8, 3 plus 5, and this is more than 2, so in fact that also ends. And the same would happen if I tried to turn here, because these also sum to at least 8, and I can't add on that number, so we get a somewhat symmetrical little bit here. This doesn't have a 1, 2 on it either, so this is also 3, 4, 6, 7. It's the other one, if you like. And this also is 3, 4, 6, 7. Oh, and neither of these is 4. So neither of these is 6. So that is somewhat interesting. So now this can only possibly be a 2-cell sum if it's a 3, 7 and this is a 6. So the minimum sum of these is 3, 5 is 8. Ah, yes, that doesn't work because this digit I know is a minimum of 2 now. And so, but it can't, sorry, its a minimum is bigger than 2. It can't even be 2. This is a minimum of 3. And so these sum to at least 8, plus this number is too big. So that means that we actually get a break there. And so now this can only be 3, 7. The 6 there, 6 there. So that is a 3, 7 pair. And so these are a 4, 6 pair. And that is the 4, and that's the 6. Okay, and so now... Oh, sorry, yeah, yes. I can't make these 3 cells sum to 4, which is what I would need. Somehow I was convinced this cell couldn't be a 4 and was convinced I'd broken the puzzle. But in fact, therefore, I need to split this up twice. And so I can do that. So this is 1, 2, or sorry, 1, 9 or 2, 8 are the two options, I suppose. This is 4 if I want to solve for the variable. These are, oh, sorry. This is also 4 if I want to solve for the variable correctly. Sometimes the x's make me think that those two digits sum to 10, and sometimes that throws me off. Okay, this has an even digit on it, and that even digit is either, if it's here, it's an 8. If it's here, it's got, oh, actually it's an 8 no matter what, because these cells both see 2, 4, and 6. So this is only from 7, 8, 9, and it definitely has an 8 for what it is worth. It sure feels like the kind of thing that would be useful to know, but I don't see how it is yet. This can't be a 2-cell sum. That's always a cute trick because it sees 1, 2, and 4, and so the only thing that's available is 3, 7, but it sees a 3, 7. So this arcs at least that far, and it can't go further because it would strand a cell down this line, and we can't strand a cell. And so this cell's definitely a 1 or a 2, because you need a 1 or a 2 and a 3-cell sum of different digits to 10, and this cell is neither of them. And so there needs to be a 3 in here, because if there's not, then these are minimum 5, 6, and that's too big. So that makes that a 7. It makes that a 3. It makes that not a 7. And these are from 1, 2, 8, 9. So that gives me, if you like, a virtual 1, 2 pair in the box. You probably don't like it because why would you, you monster? Okay, this is a 1, 2, 8, 9. It's the other 1, 2, 8, 9, funnily enough. Okay. Okay, so now this digit's at least 5, and this digit's at least 5. In fact, actually, the only things left in the row are 5, 8, and 9. So that means that these digits are each at most 5. And neither of them seems to be able to be 4. That one seems unable to be 3. And these two digits are also actually at least 5. That one's not a 7. That one's not a 6. So that means this line has to split because these two ends already sum to more than 10. So we actually get that both of these split. These are also small. So these are also from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 5 is always a possibility. So we do have to reckon with that. This one's not a 3, owing to that 3, 7. This one's not a 7, owing to the 3, 7. Let's see. Okay, so this is a 2-cell sum, so this can't be a 3. There's too many digits here. 4, because that can't be 6, so this is a 1, 2, or a 5. Okay. This can't be 4, 6, AFK says for some reason I don't see yet, but that I'm sure I will eventually see. Okay. Same story with this cell is at least 5 as well. It's not 6 or 7. Could be 8 or 9. Okay, and so this cell has got to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not a 4. This cell also can't be 3 because I know there's a 3 here. So, okay, so we do get a similar story where these are 2 cell sums, which lets me knock 3 out of this one. So this is 5, 4, 1, or 2 to resolve that. Digit sees the whole thing for what it is worth. Let's see. Yes. Okay. Martin has a good spot, which is that these can't both be 1, 2. So one of them has to be 5, because this is a 1, 2, 5 triple. And so therefore one of these is 5, because 5 plus 5 is 10. And so therefore this is never 5. So these are actually an 8, 9 pair, which actually makes this a 1 or a 2, which makes this an 8 or a 9. Let's see. That 8, 9 goes up here in one of these 2 cells just by sudoku. The other 1, 2 in this box, I guess, is in one of these 2 cells. Oh, we also have a 1, 2, 5 triple here. I should have looked there, but I didn't. So these are also a 1, 2, 5 triple. So again, one of those 2 is the 5. So one of these 2 is a 5. So I can mark that. So yeah, so one of those is a 5. Sure. It's a 5 together with that 8, 9. Oh yeah, what can this cell be? That's a good point. Okay, so it's not 1 or 2. It's not 5. So this, and it's not 8. So, okay, so that gives us a 7, 8, 9 triple. Okay. Profitable. So that means that the rest of this row is 1, 2, 3, not 4, 5, not 6, not 7, 8, or 9. Oops. No 3s go there. This I know isn't 1 or 2 because of our earlier noted 1, 2 virtual pair between there. So this 1, 2 is that 1, 2 for whatever that is worth. I guess I know enough about this to know that these digits are only from 3, 5, 6 if I wanted to mark that. Because it's either a 1 with a 3, in which case then it's a 6, or it's a 2 with a 3, in which case then it's a 5. Okay, this dot isn't 3, 6 because it has a 3, 6 dot looking at it. So this is from the 1, 2, 4, 8 family, and I know that's not a 4. It seems like the kind of thing that might be worth remarking upon. I'm not confident that it is, but it seems like the sort of thing that could be worth remarking upon. let's see. I can mark the rest of this column because it's only a quad. Maybe it's worth doing. Let's see. We've still got a 3, 4, 5, 6, and a 7, 8, 9 are the things that are left. So that one's not a 7 for sure because of that. Not sure that got me where I wanted to go. Ah, yeah, this one's not 3 either. Okay, maybe it will if I do Sudoku better. Ah, yes, this can't be 8. Good point, because then that would make that a 4. Let's see. Now, AFK earlier said that he knew how to rule 4-6 out of this, but I don't know. I didn't understand it at the time, and then I lost track of chat. So if someone sees why that is okay, AFK retracts. It would be very helpful if it were true. Let's see. Trying to see if I can do any of those. Yeah, I was trying to get some restriction on this. Yeah, Globaglob says, yeah, I can't put an 8 or a 9 on it because it would break this bizarre thing. 7, 8 doesn't work either, actually. Because 7, 8... Yeah. Yeah, 7, 8 doesn't work either. So these are certainly from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, for what it's worth. It doesn't have a 5 on it. Oh, sorry, 6, 7. Maybe 6, 7 works. I might have missed 6, 7 as a possibility. Yeah, sorry. I ruled out 7, 8, and then just removed 7 from it. Sadly, it does not work that way. But yeah, no 5. Yeah, we can certainly start coloring because we know, like, this domino is a sum, and that's the other domino that is a sum. But yeah, sadly that doesn't get us very far very fast. And I don't know that there's anywhere else that I can... Oh, right. I had remarked upon this earlier, and then I lost track. Yeah, so for multiple reasons, this is the purple one, too. Because it's not the green one, too, or also because it has to go in this box somewhere. Oh, that means these aren't 1, 2, 8, 9. Because these see both flavors of 1, 2, 8, 9, because both of those cells see both of these. So this is not 1, 2. This is not 8, 9. Can I repeat that trick anywhere else? I don't think so. But that does give me a 3, 5, 6 triple, which seems helpful. So this isn't a 5 or a 6. And so this isn't a 4 or a 5. So that's a 1, 2, which places a 5 here. Okay, that was the thing I was supposed to see. So this is not a 5. This is not a 5. This is not a 5. This is now just a 3. So now that's an 8, 9 pair. So now that is a 5 and that's a 5. So no 5 there, no 5 there. Okay, well, there's no 1 on the white dot anymore because there's a 1, 2 in the box. No 1 on the black dot anymore because there's a 1, 2 in the row. So this is 2, 4, or 4, 8. This is never 2, actually. This is always the 4. Going with 2 or 8. I can just place the 4 in box 8 here. Oh, that 3 seems to have done the 3 and the 7 up there as well. That's not a 4 anymore. This is the other 8, 9, for what it's worth, just by the column. I don't know if it's worth coloring them anymore, but I'm going to anyway. This is a known digit because it's a naked single. I think it's a 7. Okay. This is green. Okay, good, because there's a purple there already, so that's green. We do like colors, so that's purple, and that's green, and that's purple, and that's green, and that's purple, and that's green. Okay, I thought we were doing all of that to see that this couldn't be 2, but sadly we ended up with the same colors looking at it, so that did not immediately help. But it was fun. Let's see. Oh, right, this is purple. Row 7, column 6, Globaglob points out, is not a 1 or a 2 anymore. So this is a 1 or a 2. Yes, and now we've got an 8, 9 pair, which has made this one green. So green is not 2, 8. Oh, yes, yes, yes. So green is not 2, 8. Right, because if green was 2, 8, then this would be... Wow, that's... Okay, that's slick. So yeah, so green's not 2, 8. So green is 1, 9, because if green was 2, 8, this cell would have no fill. Got it. So we've got 1, 9, 1, 2, 8, 2, 8, 2, 2, 2, 8, 1, 9, 1, 9, 1, 9. Okay, and I think I can get rid of the coloring now. Okay, and so there is an 8, there is a 7, there's an 8. Okay, no 2 there. 1 5s in each of those. No 8 there. I think I can mark the rest of the grid now without feeling too guilty. Okay, so I probably should have started with this. No 7, no 2. So this can't be a 3, actually, because... Oh, sorry, maybe this could be a 3. Sorry, this could be a 3 if that was a 2. I see there's an 8, 9 pair here, so these aren't 8. Those are a 4, 6 pair. Let's see. We have a 1 placed here by sudoku. That has been true, I think, for... oh, maybe it hasn't been true for that long, actually. I will pretend it hasn't been true for that long. I do know one of these is a 5 just by sudoku in the box, so therefore none of those are 5. Indeed, only one of those can be 5. There's no 5 one here, so there's no 6 on it now. So there's definitely a 3 on it, together with a 2 or a 4. Oh. Wow, yeah, I kept checking over and over again, like, does one of these combinations break this sum? Does one of these combinations break this sum? And kept concluding that no, it was fine. But Lakia is correct that once I know this is a 2, I do know that these need to actually sum to 8, which would be a positive development, making that a 6 and that a 4, which makes that a 3 and that a 2. Helps a lot. Makes that a 5 and that a 3, which places this 5 by my earlier random highlighting. Those are a 7-9 pair, so that's an 8 and a 6 and a 5. Let's see, that's easy. 4, 8, 9. Let's see, those are a 6-7 pair, so that's a 3. 8, 6. 7, 9. Let's let Mark do some tidying for us. 2, 8, 7, 9. Those 1, 3 pair make that a 6. Oops. Make that a 3, a 7. 9, 2, 4. 6, 9, 6, 7. 1, 3, 5, 1, 5, and 2. Very nice. I quite enjoyed that one. Very disciplined setting there. There were several aha moments there that were really slickly done. Alrighty, I'm going to check and see if Christian is home real quick, and if he is, I may end stream, but if not, I have time for another puzzle, so I will see you in just a moment. Alrighty, welcome back. Looks like we've got time for what looks like it might be an easier puzzle, although you never know based on the star ratings that are listed, but sometimes. Alright, so we've got our thermos and our region sum lines and some black dots, as well as one of these black digits that I don't quite know what those mean, but we'll figure it out. So let's see. Those are the same digit. These are all the same digit. These are the same digit. These are the same digit. Uh, uh, Purple in box 5 is in the center, AFK points out, because you can't have purple in a two-cell sum to purple unless one of the digits in the sum is 0, which would be difficult. Hey, Nell, how are you doing? I think green in box 4 is placed for the same reason. Purple in column 6 is placed for the same reason. I love this whole discipline setters having themes in their puzzles thing that we have going on today. Yellow in box 6 is there. Yes. Orange. Yes. Oh, right. If I had noticed that this is a one-cell line, that tells me neither of these are orange and actually places orange in the box. Funnily enough, I had not appreciated... Somehow in my head, when Jim said row 2, column 3 is orange, I just understood Jim to say that this was orange, which I then eventually was able to prove by proving this cell was orange. But that was more involved than was strictly necessary, I believe. I'm being told that there's a green in row 4. Also, I know that yellow is at least 6. And I know that orange is at least 6. So I go ahead and mark at least these two as being 6, 7, 8, 9. Green in column 3 as well. Very good. Let's see. Yeah, green in... Oh, never mind. This, funnily enough, is none of our colors. I don't know if I want to make a none of our colors, but I'm going to make this none of our colors because it sees them all. These are all none of our colors. Let's see. These are all none of our colors. My hope is that maybe this will help. This is none of our colors. These are none of our colors. Yeah, yellow is our most restricted color. This is none of our colors. Let's see. I know one of these two is orange for what it's worth. Yeah, green I can do a little bit of math on because green is on a 3-cell sum. So green is at most 6. But also there's 2 green 2-cell sums. And so green can't be 3 or 4 either, because if green were, say, 3, these would be a 1-2 triple. And so green can only be 5 or 6, which then means that yellow is only 8 or 9. These have to be for 1, 2, 3 and have to include a 1. So that means this digit's at least 4. There we go. Just for completeness, may make it difficult for yellow to show up on other lines. Annoyingly, this cell can just get away with being yellow. If yellow is 8 and orange is 9. Let's see, and green is only 5 or 6, so I probably should fill in that these are from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do I know that this isn't 6, 7, 8, 9? Like, why is it 100% clear that this can't be orange? That's the thing I'm questioning. It would be quite surprising, or quite powerful, I guess I should say. But I don't immediately see why it's ruled out. We know green's only 5 or 6. Ah, yes, this thermo can't have both an 8 and a 9 on it because yellow is 8 or 9, so this cell can't be 8, so this cell can't be 7. And this can't be a 6 because I can't actually make this a 6, 7, 8, 9 quintuple either. Yes, yes, yes. Where is yellow in box 2 is an excellent question from Josh. I see a lot of places it can be, but none of them can be 9 because these are partway along a thermo, these are part of a sum, and this one's on a black dot. So yellow is always 8, which makes green 5 and makes these a 1-2 pair. That was a very slick spot there to Josh. Which makes these a 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple that is seen by this cell. So this cell is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but it's certainly not a 5 because 5 is green. In fact, I can go ahead and fill the 5s in to all of these cells. So this is not an 8. This is not a 5. Yeah, there's 2 ways to make purple. So purple has to be at least 5, but purple isn't 5. And so therefore purple has to be 6, 7, 8, or 9. But we know it's not 8. So it's 6, 7, or 9 as AFK's point. That is true. Now this cell isn't orange. Agree. Because if this were as high as 6, it would assuredly place an 8 there, which it can't. So this digit is in fact at most 4. And I don't even think 4 works, because it would have to go 4. Oh no, 4, 6, 7, 8, or 9 does work. I guess if 8 is here, then orange can still get away with being 6 or 7. But I don't like it. I know for sure this cell isn't yellow, because there's no way that yellow is part of this sum given the given 1. So yellow in this box is a little bit restricted. So yellow in this column is quite restricted. We know there's 2 of 1, 2, 3 in these cells. So that means this cell is at least 4. Which means this cell is at least 5, which actually means it's at least 6. And, well, you already know it's not 8. It's orange. One of these two goes here. Oh, I guess these 1, 2, 3, 4 digits I now know aren't any of our digits, for what it's worth. Yes. These are also definitely not any of our digits. It does actually leave only a tiny number of places for orange and yellow to live. It feels quite likely that this cell is going to be orange or yellow. It's going to be hard for this cell to be orange or yellow. It could just get away with being orange if orange is exactly 6. Yeah, right. This cell is yellow or nothing. Right. These are a yellow nothing pair, if you want to think about it that way. And like we keep sort of looking at box 2, because I don't think I've expressly said this out loud, even though I've thought about it, which is that you can't hide either place you put yellow in box 2 is hugely impactful, because one of them gives you a 4 and one of them gives you that orange is 9. Let's see. Purple isn't 6 because neither segment in box 5 or box 8 can be 1, 5. True. Yeah. So if purple is 6, these would be the two different sums to 5. But this one isn't 1, 5 because there's a 1 in the box, and this one isn't 1, 5 because there's a 5 in the box. So purple is not 6. That is very clean. Oops. So purple is 7 or 9. Let's see. I'm being encouraged to chase 5s through various boxes. Oh, I could just place the 5 in column 7, can't I? Is that the point? I think the 5 in column 7 is just placed because it doesn't go in black dots and doesn't go in a box with a 5 and doesn't go on top of an 8 or in a row with a 5. I think 5 is just placed in column 7 by just black dot stuff. So let's do it that way. So now 5 goes in one of these two cells. In fact, actually, it gets just placed there. Which is going to make it hard for orange to be 6. So now orange is 7 or 9 as well. Oh, and 7 doesn't work either, actually, because orange's 7 would require this 1, 2, 4 sum have a 5 in it, which could be problematic, potentially. So these are 9. So purple is 7. So that is not a 7. This isn't a 7 or a 9. That is not a 9, so that's not a 7. So that is a 5, just by sudoku and black dot avoidance. And so that is a 5 by sudoku. So this is a 6 or a 7. Okay. Oh, crap, this one could still be orange. Oh, yes, these are a 1-3 pair because of math that I should have done. So that is a 3, and that's a 1. So this black dot is from the 1, 2, 4, 8 family. That's not an 8, and that's not a 1. There's definitely a 4 on it for whatever that's worth. 5 plus x is 7 is an equation that I know how to solve. So we've got to fill in this as 1 or 4. Not a 2, not a 3, not a 2, not a 1. Okay, so these aren't 2, 4, so these are 1, 6, or 3, 4. That's not a 1, that's not a 6. Hey, Nebu, how are you doing? Let's see. What are these digits that are left in this box? I got a 3 and a 4 and a 6. Those are the digits that are left. Oh, so that gives me a 3, 4, 6 triple across the row. That is a very random 3, 4, 6 triple to have fallen in our laps, but I will take it. This isn't a 3 or a 4. So this is a 3 or a 4, it would seem. And that is a 1, 2 pair. So basically that's telling me these are an 8, 9 pair. AKA a yellow-orange pair, if you will. Oh, this cell certainly isn't yellow or orange. Now that we know that yellow and orange are 8 and 9. So this cell, therefore, is yellow, actually. And this cell is orange. And so this cell is yellow. This seems not to be able to be yellow anymore. That can't be yellow, so now this is yellow. And now these are blue. There's an 8 and a 4. This can only be 2, 4, or 6. I think this seems to be a 1 now. Orange in box 5. Thank you, Nebu. So that's all of those. This cell now sees everything, so it's not any of our colors. This cell isn't a 1, so that one's not a 4. We've got our 1, 2, 3, 4 combo again. I guess we already had a virtual pair there if you wanted. 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't be as big as 6. So this is a 2 or a 4, and that's a 4 or a 6. This cell is blue now. Let's see. Column 3 has only blues left. And I can even fill them in because they're 3, 4, 6. And these are 3, 4, 6. That seems even more powerful because that makes that a 1, which makes that a 6. Which lets me fill in that this digit is a something else, a 2. Let's see, that is a 3, 4, and 6 over there. Column 4 is missing only 4, 6, and 9, I am told. This is 2, 4, or 6. Row 4 has only 1 digit left. It is a 6. Okay, so there's a 1, 2, and a 3, 4 left. So I know that that's a 1, 2, and that's a 3, 4, because that's how thermos work. Presumably this could also be a 3, 4. And then this is a 7 or an 8. Just by looking at sort of how this goes. In fact, actually, if this isn't a 3 or a 4, does it break? Because if this isn't a 3 or a 4, no, in that instance, these just are a 7, 8 in that order. This is always 7 or 8, though. So that is to say it is purple or yellow. Column 7 is missing 2 and 6. Thank you for marking for me, AFK. I appreciate it. Then I don't have to scan through it in my head. Yeah, the 4 and 6 going in this box is interesting. So the 6 has to go in one of those two spots. Ah, yes, there's a 1, 2 pair here looking up at this cell, so that's not a 2. These two is an 8. 4 in box 9. I was looking at 6 in box 9, but I should have just looked at 4 in box 9. Thank you. What can this cell be? 3, 6, or 8, it would seem. This digit is just a 3. Because I need to put a 3 in this column somewhere, which makes this a 2. This is a 6 or a 7. Let's see. This row has a 4, 6 pair, so I can remove 4 and 6 from these two cells. This is only a 1 or a 7. This row has a bunch of digits in it as well. This digit is presumably a something. 2, 3, 4, or 6. Thank you. About these cells. Excellent, excellent. there any plausible benefit to trying to color these 3 4s and 1 2s that bounce through here? I don't think so. I guess I can do something crazy like mark these cells and note that they're not 3 or 4. Because these cells, and they're not 1 or 2 either, because these cells all see, oh crap, that's not true. Sorry, they could be 1 or 2. They're not 3 or 4 though, because they see that 3 4 and that 3 4. 6 in column 3 is definitely in one of these 2 cells. So that means that cell isn't a 6. And that places this 6. Okay, that seems quite likely to do a lot, because then that places this 2, which places that 6, which places this purple. Means one of these 2 is purple. It's not 2. It's not 2. This one isn't 6. This one isn't 6. One of these is orange. I mean, I might as well fill in what they are, just in case it makes something appear for anyone in chat. One of these is 9. There's a 1 in one of these 2 cells. Okay. Well, I can give you a Zackwing on 1s. It's not what anyone wanted for Christmas, but I can give you a Zackwing on 1s, because one of these 2 is 1 and one of those 2 is a 1. So these aren't 1. So this is purple or yellow. Let's see. This cell is now a nothing. Okay, so now, yeah, it's not 6, 7, 8, or 9, and it's not 5. So now this is a 3 or a 4. And so now, Todd, I think that is going to do it, because now we have 2, 3, 4s in a row, like we noted earlier, and that is going to do us some amount of good. So that is going to be purple. So that's not. So that gives me the 7 and the 8. Let's see. Okay, so those are both nothings. That is going to be purple, and that's nothing. Let's see. This is going to be the purple for this column, because it needs a purple, and so this is going to be the yellow for this column. This is going to be orange if I let myself peek at what is written into the cell. So these are all nothings. So let's see. So this is going to be orange if I let myself peek. So this is going to be nothing. So by this row, this is going to be orange, and so this is going to be nothing, and so that's going to be yellow. And I believe that technically counts as finishing the puzzle, but since it's the holidays, I'll fill in the digits and not even make people wait for it to come out on the Patreon. 99987. Let's see. So we've got a 3 there, a 6 there. That's probably an 8. 4, 6, 4, and 6. We got stuck there for a little bit, but very nice puzzle. I enjoyed the little coloring bits and bobs, and I liked that I saw before it happened that we were going to probably get a 3-4 pair here, and then it was sort of a very satisfying way to sort of put together these constraints, because the 3-4 were sort of a combo of the thermo things. All right, but I am going to wrap up this holiday stream there for today. So thank you everyone for joining in. Happy holidays, whichever holidays you may or may not celebrate. You can have a good holiday even if you don't celebrate it, I suppose. But enjoy your time. I'll be back again streaming next Sunday, so you can look forward to seeing more of me then. But for now, thank you all for another great year of streaming. Thanks to all of you who support the stream. It's greatly appreciated. If you want to start supporting the stream for the holidays, or if you want to make it a New Year's resolution to support the stream for all of next year, by all means, we would appreciate it. You can always do that by clicking the $ if you want. Huge thanks to all of you who do. It really does mean a lot and helps keep the lights on and helps keep us doing this on a fairly regular basis. Do enjoy the Sudoku topology videos if you have been enjoying those. Special guest Tristan begins guest starring in the Sudoku topology videos in the near future. So you can look forward to that. If you want more Tristan in your life, which don't we all, then you can see Tristan and I attempt to tackle the Sudoku topology videos to get Sudoku topology puzzles together. I can't reveal how it goes, but I can reveal that Tristan said something about how it would go much faster if he was there because it was so painful to watch me solve the puzzles slowly. So you can see it either work out very well or very poorly for Tristan based on whether it did indeed go much faster when he was there or not. But I won't spoil the outcome. All right, but thank you everyone for watching. Have a great holiday, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.